Hello everyone, this is Lata Akula. In this video, we are going to study about the next part in the prokaryotic cell. Actually, in the last video, we have started the structure of the prokaryotic cell. In that, we have studied it up to cell wall. So, what we studied there, depending upon the cell wall compositions, the bacteria were classified into gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. The gram-positive bacteria that consists of high amount of peptidoglycan when compared to the gram-negative bacteria, and the gram-negative bacteria that consists of a lipopolysaccharide layer which is absent in the gram-positive bacteria. And depending upon that chemical composition, Christian Grams he introduced the Gram staining technique. Up to that we have studied that. And the next part in the cell is, so glycocalyx is over, the cell wall is over. What is the innermost layer? The plasma membrane. Now in this video we are going to study about the plasma membrane. Here, this plasma membrane, it is a semi-permeable membrane. It is similar to the eukaryotic plasma membrane. Both prokaryotic and eukaryotic plasma membrane are similar. And here, this plasma membrane is a semi-permeable membrane. Semi means half. It allows only selectively, it allows only some particles, not all the particles which are present outside the environment will enter into the cell. Only the smaller molecules which are capable to enter only can enter, and the larger molecules and which are not allowed cannot reach the plasma membrane. So they, because of that semi-permeable nature, it selectively allows the particles inside. And this plasma membrane in several regions, see this, the plasma membrane, this green color part is the plasma membrane, right? This plasma membrane in several regions, it forms several finger-like projections or infoldings are present. These infoldings or finger-like invaginations are called as mesosomes. So these finger-like invaginations are called as mesosomes. These mesosomes, they may be in different shapes. Some are in the vesicle form, some are in tubular form, and some are in the lamella. Different shapes are present. Different shapes are exhibited by these mesosomes, and the functions of these mesosomes was they helps in the cell wall formation, and they helps in the DNA replication process, and also in the distribution of the daughter cells. After binary fission, two daughter cells will be separated, right? During that distribution process, these mesosomes also helps. So what are the functions of the mesosomes? Cell wall formation, DNA replication, and also in the distribution of the daughter cells. Not only these functions, the another important function of the mesosomes is that helps in the respiration process. Because of that respiration process only the energy will be released, right? That respiration process was done by the plasma membrane invagination called as mesosomes. And in that, here, because of these invaginations, the surface area of enzymatic activity for several reactions will be increased. And here, these mesosomes, they were mainly present in gram-positive bacteria. So where they are present? They are present in the gram-positive bacteria and also in some photosynthetic bacteria like purple sulfur bacteria and cyanobacteria also. These mesosomes were present. So in the gram-positive bacteria, these plasma membrane invaginations were in the form of mesosomes. And whereas in some of the bacteria, photosynthetic bacteria, these invaginations were in the form of chromatophores. So these chromatophores were present in the photosynthetic bacteria like purple sulfur bacteria and cyanobacteria. These chromatophores, they are filled with pigments. So because they are performing photosynthesis, right? For that pigments are required. So those pigments will be present in the plasma membrane invaginations called as chromatophores. And these bacteria cells. With this we have completed about the plasma membrane. And the next one is bacterial motility. Here this bacteria, they may be motile, or some bacteria they may be non-motile also. That motility was conferred by special structures called as flagella. These hair-like structures are called as flagella. So because of the presence of those flagella, the bacteria which consists of the flagella, they are able to move, and the bacteria which do not have that kind of flagella will not exhibit that kind of motility. Here the motility is conferred by mainly structure called as flagella, and depending upon the presence or absence of the flagella and arrangement of the flagella in different locations, we can classify the bacteria. If flagella were absent, we can call it as A trichus. A means absent, trichus means flagella. In that bacteria, there is no flagella, that is A trichus. And if I have already explained this, the flagella were absent, that is called as A trichus. And if the flagella were present at one end, only single flagella were present at one end, that is called as monotrichous. And if the two flagella, a single flagella were present at both ends, then it is called as amphitrichous. Amphi means both. If the flagella, a bunch of flagella, a tuft of flagella are present at one end, that is called as lophotrichous. And if two bunches of flagella are present at two ends, that is called as cephalotrichous. And in some books, it is already this cephalotrichous nature was also given as amphilophotrichous also. We can also call it as a amphilophotrichous. Amphilophotrichous. And if the flagella are present all over the body, it is called as peri. Peri means around. Peritrichous. So, depending upon the flagella arrangement, we can classify the bacteria like Atrichus without flagella, monotrichous, a single flagella at one end, amphitrichous, a single two flagella at two ends are present, and a tuft of flagella are present at one end, that is called as a lophotrichous. If two bunches of flagella are present at two ends, then it is called as cephalotrichous or amphilophotrichous. If the flagella were covered all over the body of the bacteria, then it is called as peritrichous. And here, this flagella, it is a hair-like structure that was projecting outside, right? And this flagella, it has three parts. How many parts are present in the flagella? Three parts were present. They were filament, hook, and basal body. What are the three parts? Filament, hook, and basal body were the three parts present in the flagella. And here, this filament, it was an outward projection which is present outside. It is in the form of a cylindrical hollow tubular structure. This filament, it is made up of, this flagella is made up of a protein called as flagellin, and the filament is a cylindrical hollow structure which is projecting outwards. And the basal body, which is embedded within the cell membrane, and this basal body, it consists of four rings. How many rings are present? Four rings. They are inner pair of rings and outer pair of rings. Inner pair of rings are called as M and S rings, and outer pair of rings are called as P and L rings. And here, in gram positive and gram negative bacteria, here in gram negative bacteria, there are four rings are present. Four, and that means two pairs of rings are present. Whereas gram positive bacteria, that consists of only two rings. Because in gram negative bacteria, there is an outer lipopolysaccharide layer is present, right? So here LP means lipopolysaccharide layer. In that, these two rings are present. But the gram positive bacteria, that outer lipopolysaccharide layer was absent. Hence, it consists of only two rings. That is, it consists of only inner pair of rings, outer pair of rings, that is L and P rings were absent in the gram positive bacteria, and it has only two rings. Whereas the gram negative bacteria, because of the presence of the lipopolysaccharide layer, it consists of four rings. They are L ring, P ring, S ring, and M rings. That was the main differences between the gram-positive and gram-negative bacteria. And this filament and basal body, they were joined by hook. Filament and basal body were joined by hook. And the next one is pili. Pili were elongated tubular structures. See, these are the pili. These are the elongated tubular structures, and which is the pili was made up of a protein called as pillin. Pillin is the protein present in the pili. And this pili are structures which are mainly present, true pili were present in the gram-negative bacteria. Where they are present mainly? They are present in the gram-negative bacteria. In that gram-negative bacteria, what happens is, these pili, they helps in the mating process. Between two bacteria, the mating takes place, right? So during that region, that time, this pili, it forms a tube-like structure. This is called as a donor, and this one is called as a recipient. So here what happens is, so in gram-negative bacteria, the pili, they helps in the conjugation process. In that, what happens is, the pili present on the surface of the bacteria, that forms a conjugation tube with its mate. So this is the conjugation tube. This is the donor bacteria and this is the recipient bacteria. Donor means the bacteria, they consist of the plasmids, right? Those are called as the donors, and the bacteria which are lacking the plasmids are called as the recipient bacteria, and which receives that plasmid is called as recipient bacteria. The replica of this plasmid will be reached to the recipient by means of a tube. This is called as conjugation tube, which is formed by the pili. So by means of this, the plasmid DNA will reach it to the recipient bacteria. After receiving, this conjugation tube will be cut off. So for that process, this pili will help in gram-negative bacteria during the mating process. And another one is the fimbria. Fimbria are also the one of the surface structures present like the pili, but these are bristle-like, small bristle-like structure. The main purpose of these fimbria were for attaching. Here, when the bacteria were present in the streams or in the water, they have to attach to any stones or any other substratum. During for that attachment, these fimbria were helpful. Not only that, when the bacteria were present in the host body, for to attaching to the host tissues, this fimbria will be useful. This is about the functions of the flagella, pili and fimbria. So this we have completed, and in the next video we are going to study about the ribosomes. Hello everyone. In this video we are going to study about the remaining part of the prokaryotic cell, that is the ribosomes and inclusion bodies. In the previous video we have completed the flagella up to flagella. And now if you see the ribosomes, in prokaryotes, the ribosomes are mainly associated with the plasma membrane and also present in the cytoplasm also. And these ribosomes, the size of these ribosomes was 15 nanometers to 20 nanometers in size, and they contain two subunits, larger subunit and the smaller subunit. The larger subunit is called 50S subunit and the smaller subunit is called as 30S subunits. And these together we call it as 70S. Hence in prokaryotes, what type of ribosomes were present? 70S type of ribosomes. Actually if we sum up these two, we'll get 80S. But why we are telling here 70S? Here S means Svedberg units. That Theodor Svedberg is the scientist who introduced that term, hence we are given the name Svedberg units. Here in the centrifugation machines, if we sediment these ribosomes, the larger subunit that sediment in the sedimentation coefficient of 50 years, and whereas the smaller subunit will sediment in the speed of 30 years. If these two are sedimented together, they will sediment only in the range of 70 years. That is why we are telling it as 70 years. We need not to sum up these two. And next one is ribosomes. What is the function of these ribosomes? They are the sites for the protein synthesis. In the ribosomes only, the proteins were synthesized, and Here, the ribosomes were present in the cytoplasm and plasma membrane. The ribosomes which are present in the cytoplasm, they prepare the proteins. They will be present within the cytoplasm only, whereas the ribosomes which are present near the plasma membrane, if they synthesize the proteins, that will be secreted out of the cell. That will be transported out of the cell. And several ribosomes, they were attached to a single mRNA. See these are the several ribosomes. They were attached to a single mRNA and form a structure called as polyribosome or polysome. See here, this is a polyribosome or polysome. In this polyribosome or polysome, they translate, this is the mRNA. This chain is called as mRNA. This is the largest subunit and this is the smallest subunit. They translate the mRNA and prepares proteins. Proteins will be released after the translation of the mRNA, and the released proteins will be present within the cell or they may be transported out of the cell depending upon their location of the ribosomes. This is about the ribosome. And the next one is inclusion bodies. Here, these inclusion bodies are nothing but whatever the reserve food material or reserve materials present in the prokaryotic cells, they will be freely present in the cytoplasm. They are not covered by any membrane, hence they are non-membranous structures. And these reserve materials, they may be different types. Some of the materials are phosphate granules, some of them are the cyanophysin granules, glycogen granules. All these are the several examples for the inclusion bodies. And in some bacteria like blue, green, purple and green bacteria, they consist of, in addition to these granules, they consist of gas vacuoles also. These gas vacuoles, they helps in the when the bacteria are present in the water, these gas vacuoles, they helps for the floating of the bacteria and helps in the buoyancy. So this is about the inclusion bodies and gas vacuoles. And with this we have completed the prokaryotic cell, and this prokaryotic cells will be will include bacteria, right? So these bacteria, the economical importance and harmful effects of the bacteria already we have discussed, and with this we have completed the prokaryotic cell. And in the next video we are going to study about the eukaryotic cell. If you like my video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel Lata Akula Biology Tutorial.